Um, Only use a handful of fonts. If you use more than three, you got to X-name, you got to start from scratch. The problem is with this is that if you add too many fonts, it's irregular and your brain will be hurt by it and you won't fully look at the graphic. It's actually a little bit more of a psychological reason. Our mind is at ease and absorbs knowledge easier when it's organized and in order. If you use too many fonts and too many elements in a graphic, your brain will look at it and say, this is too messy, there's a lot going on, and it's not going to read all the information. So this is why you don't want to use too many fonts. You want to pick one main one, a sub, and a main body, but don't use two more than that. Because if you do, your brain or whoever's looking at it, their brain is just going to say, this is a mess, this is too much, I don't know what to look at first, and the person is not actually going to look at your graphic and they're just going to scroll. Especially with us being on a digital age, you need to make sure that they can look, read, and are attracted by your graphic within the first 10 seconds. As soon as they lay eyes on it, they should be able to immediately see your title and be able to scan the information all the way down to it saying San Diego, California. Ooh, that's somewhere I want to be. So, and then one final thing, do use boxes to help with important elements to draw attention. So I want to give a shout out to all of our guys online. We are live streaming some of this. We didn't get all of it because if you want all of the handy details, as well as the list of all of the elements that are needed for a flyer that we're about to create and we're about to get into right now, go register and then you can get the recap later. So our guys in the room get all of the special benefits and all the details for this event. And you'll get an email with the list as well. So things to look forward to. So if you're online and you're wanting to follow along and you're like, okay, wait, this is good, but what were the pieces I needed? Wait, what were some of the rules of do's and don'ts? Well, register online and you'll be able to get that information. But for all of our people here in the room, let's get started into some practical examples of some tools you can use right now to begin creating flyers. Now, before I start, let's talk programs here for a quick minute. Now, I know many of you, in fact, most of you are not graphics designers. Like, I think there's maybe like two in the room. But even then, none of you are really a fay with Photoshop. Now, before you get worried and like, oh, this is really difficult, this is hard, I understand. And you don't always have to use Photoshop, but on the other hand, there are programs that are free, such as Canva and Adobe Express, which I will show you today. But I want to say this, when it comes to picking a program or the graphic type that you want, it depends on the event. Like, for example, if you are just advertising a free event, by all means, use a free resource. You know, if you're just wanting to invite people to church and they're not paying any monetary value, or you want to get their attention, but you're not wanting to, like, it's not a business meeting, let's say it like this, where you'll be judged on your quality and professionalism. Thing is, in ministry settings, we can get away with a lot of lacks of not having to be like polished professional. But on the other hand, if you are inviting people to an apostolic assembly and you're charging $500 a seat, then that graphic better be designed in Photoshop and be beautiful and polished. And for that, yeah, you need to spend some money on that graphic. Not every graphic needs to be super polished and professional, but if you're going to charge and invite people to an event that requires monetary value, then you need to take your level of professionalism up a notch. As I said, sometimes you just need a quick flyer. It's just an event that you're wanting, an online event, something free. But if you're wanting people to invest money into your event, then you should also invest money into your event to get it properly advertised and to get it professionally done. Because whether you like it or not, the flyers, the first impression anybody will ever get of you, your ministry, or your event. And if it's sloppy, Canva made, unprofessional, elements missing, then that's what they're going to assume, and that's what they're going to immediately expect from you. Somebody that is unprofessional, somebody that is just doing a quick job, quick fix. And again, that's fine if you're doing a free event because they're like, they're doing me a favor anyway. But if it's a paid event, put in the effort, put in the money, put in the time, go professional. Don't think that you can get a little freebie graphic and expect people to pay thousands into your event when you don't even put in the same amount of value into marketing. So just had to say that and put that out there. So I have no problem using Canva or free events, but or free programs as that, but then it better be a free event. If you're going to do professional, get it professionally done. Anyway, so with that said, I will show you guys how to use Canva and Adobe Express. I'll do a quick touch on the two so that you can see a bit of the difference. My personal recommendation, and this is because I come from a Photoshop experience, I do recommend that you use Adobe Express over Canva. I'll give you some examples why, but you're able to get more professional looking graphics and elements with which you can't really get in Canva, such as layers and stuff. But again, I come from working with Photoshop, so I know what I'm missing when I work on Canva. You might not know what you're missing when you work on Canva, but me working with these, I know what I'm missing. Anyway, so let's get to the practicalities and let me give you some show on how we can make this work. Right here. Now, let me move this out of the way. All right, here we go. So this is the event that we are going to be creating the flyer for. Now, I highly recommend getting all of this information first before you start your flyer because it makes your job so much easier. You always want to start with some fact finding, like getting the title, getting the line that sells, and then basic copy and information if you want to add it, and all the information I said. Now, Rebecca started the event by saying the graphic that she made, and this is it here. So I'm very proud of her. She did a great job. I can always nitpick, but she aced it. I love the elements, and she followed the rules. If you'll see, she has two, three, I'd say about 2 fonts, 3 if you include the bolding. Simple amount of fonts. She has the shadow right here so that your eyes are drawn to the faces, not what's happening in between. And you see her colors. She has the stem cell a different color from the rest so that it's bold. So I just had to brag on her for a little bit there. All right. Now, these are the 2 programs that you can use. So this is Canva. I think everybody is more aware of Canva, how it works. I am impressed with some of the elements over the last couple of months. They have really added a lot of cool elements that I do love, that gives me some of the control that I did have with Photoshop. Still some elements missing, but I do like that what they've been doing with it as of late. And then this is Adobe Express. So it's similar to the concept of Canva, where you're able to pick elements and pull them together and make it more streamlined so that you don't need, a degree in Photoshop in order to work with. I just like I can get more professional looking elements to it and the quality, and sometimes it's a little bit different. So that's what I recommend. Now, when you are starting a graphic, listen to me. Listen to me deeply. Templates are your friend. You always want to start your graphic with a template, whether one you've created or ones like Canva and these guys have here. You want to be able to pick whatever it is in a template with a feel that you like so that you can just grab and go and start working on the design more than just making sure you have every little bit of information. So you can start from scratch, but it will take you a little bit more time, especially if you're wanting a quick graphic. So See this flyer, this one is professional. You can pick different categories. Let me see if I can pick, let's see, business, landscape. Let's see if we can, if they have, since this is, yeah, let's look medical. Since we're picking one for stem cell, let's see if we can find one in the medical field that we like. And it's easier when it's like this because as you're scrolling, your eye will immediately be brought to some of the loudest and boldest. And that's what you want. You want the one that just stands out the most when you're going through. For me, I'm liking the looks of this one, but there's some elements that make it look a little too kitschy, so I think I'll pass on that one. So you see how large black bodies or darker bodies stand out more? So you can keep working the elements until you find one you like. I think I can play with this one. Let me see. Let me see what elements I want to add from our event. So I definitely want the title. Meet the speakers. Definitely has to have a section. Ooh, definitely what you'll learn. I want this in there. Okay, so let's see. Will it fit inside this template? Nope, that won't fit. So I keep looking until I find one that I want. Now, again, this is a reason why I like Adobe Express over Canva. Canva is so boring and boxy. So let's do this one. Let's see. Ooh, I kind of like that part too. This one's good. I'm not a huge fan of the font. You know what? I could probably take that and play with it. Okay, that one's cute. Let's do this one. I like this one. Customize this template. So then we can take this. I don't like that font, so delete. Let me pick a font I like. So here's something to keep in mind is these are different font categories. So like headings will be bold, louder fonts. Ooh, that one's fun. Let me play with that one. Okay. Let's go back here. Let's go to corporate. So that would be easier to read ones. Now, right off the bat, the first thing you want to start working with is you want to start working with the fonts first. So you want to make sure that the fonts are easy to read, bold, and loud. Like that. Okay, good. So I like these fonts. Let's play with that. Now we just go back here. Join the Healing Revolution. Oh, this one. Exit this so I don't confuse myself. It's a little bit big, so let's do stem cell. Oh, that's cool. That is my base. Join the Healing Revolution. Now it's a little small, so I want to bold that. Bolded. Now keep it simple when you're starting out. You can add fluff and pizzazz later, but you want to just start adding and playing with the elements as you go along. Just add in all your words first. So then that'll be my line that sells. So then what you will learn, that's a good one. Now flyers, you can put a little bit more information. Ooh, this will be a good one. Reserve your spot. Let me do that. Just taking the basic headings. Reserve your spot. And I can duplicate that. We can adjust as we go along. What you will learn. Now this is where I'm going to need just a little bit more. See, I gotta remove the points. Oops. Make sure it's not all bolded. What you will learn, take that out. I know I'm going kind of quick. If you're not keeping up, that's fine. I just want you to get a feel and the concept and just see that it's not as hard as you think. It's absolutely doable. Okay. Yeah, not a huge fan of this one, the font. So let me see. The screen there is in the way. This is the letter spacing. We'll make that a little closer together so that it's in a nice order. Again, you want to make sure that everything is nicely structured. I think I can change up this font into something a little bolder. Let's see, this one was stencil. Go up here. Should be right there. What you'll learn. Fun. Now these are all starting to look like the same color, so might need to. Now, if you start looking right off the bat, because there is so much white, you're starting to not know where to look first. We'll start adding color in just a minute, and you'll see how your eye will immediately be able to track. Now, I might delete this later on if more information fills up, but rather start with the information here than not have it and have to go fetch it later. So it'll look busy at first, but just start there. Move that up. I kind of like it there. All right, so let's do the speakers next. So you see, I can just copy and paste, so then I don't even have to type. So I can go here. So just go Pastor, Foster. So you can go here. Now, because these two peeps are well known, I can add their pictures in here in just a minute. See, copy pasting, no typos. Look at that. I can even do here so that I can make it all fit a little better. Look at this. Now, the reason I'm doing this is, again, I'm bringing order to the graphic and into the layout so that it's easier to read. Right, so we got all of the elements together. Now, probably adjust it as I go along. Now I want the photos, which, let me see if I got any in here. It might not be the best for right now, but let me see. I should have some photos here. Oh, good. We got also James. Now what I want to even do is bring this up, fold it, make it bigger. Now, I'm just going quick. If I had more time, I would probably be a little bit more professional and like need more effort. But right now, we're just making this work. You can just kind of figure out what's possible. There, I'll use this one for now. Just because it kind of matches the color theme. You know, we want to also Craig too, now that I realize this. His name is mentioned there too, so we should make space for him. I'll do recent pictures with Apostle Craig. I don't think he'll like me putting that one on. Just say. Anyway, that's a good one. Apostle 2. Yeah, these are all of our uploaded. Oh, perfect. That looks great. Good. And all within the same color scheme. Yay! So I don't have to like change somebody's shirt color or something. And yes, I've had to do that. Now, as I'm working, do you see these little like pink lines that come up along the way? I like these. These are your friends because they help you make sure everything is in order and is in a line. Like you see here, see how Apostle James is a little bit higher, his photo's a little higher. Pull that down until it lines up with the rest. So then, voila! Look at that. It looks so much better. Well, with us doing this, I might even have a little extra space to put it all on one line if I want to. And there we go. Definitely worth playing with. Anyway, before I get too distracted on that, we have their names. Meet the speakers. I want to make that a little bit bigger. I might even pull this down further, but because these are leaders that are more well known, especially on the internet, I want to make sure that they see them. And then right afterwards, you want to see the title. So I can even play with it and make it a little bigger. Now you see, if I had extra time, okay, let me just show you a quick theory here. All right, I'm going to look up, and let me show you why I'm doing this. I'm looking up shadows, and the reason being is that your eye is attracted to things that are light and looks away from things that are dark. So you see how the stem cell, how these kind of overlap? You want to read the stem cell, but you also see the borders of the photos, and it's kind of distracting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little graphic right there, a little color, so that your eye focuses more. Make sure that one a little bit darker. This will do for now. I want to make sure that your eye sees it now. Just like that. Your eye focuses now more on the title and less on the edging of their box. Now, I would go in a minute and remove the edging, because here's the thing. Remember when I, a little earlier, when I gave you some do's and don'ts, I said use lines, because our eyes are naturally attracted to boxes. So with the apostles and with all the speakers being in boxes, they're one of the first places that you're going to look. And the same is here. Like, okay, so we see stem cell. If we put and underline this, I don't like that underline, but as an example, it kind of brings attention, it brings more attention to that cell. I don't like it here because it stands out enough. But see with this, your eye doesn't know where to look first. You're like, I guess I should read the top, but then when you kind of look at these dots, your eye goes blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's because your eye doesn't know where to look. But if you do something like this, you add a box, go box, or could have gone to shape, like not this one. Do a line. I'll just go to shapes. Let me see which one I want to do. Do something like this. Do something like this. Make it color match. Take the opacity, the color down a bit. Your eye is now more attracted to that dark color. And your eye still kind of doesn't know where to go. So then what you do it like this. This, then duplicate it. This, black. Now watch. Position that. See, like this. Drop it all the way down here. You see how right off the bat, your eye now immediately starts going to real life testimonies and healing and restoration. So that's just because you simply put on a box. That's it. That's all you did. By putting in a box, your eye is immediately attracted to that one line. Even in all of these lines, now, doesn't necessarily look pretty, but it's effective. That's where you have to kind of be creative if you want a pretty graphic or if you want an effective graphic. So what you'll learn, I can make that bigger and in the middle so that it kind of follows the same order. But yeah, from here, I would just start nitpicking and just start working through all of the elements until I get something I really am in love with. But for now, I want to give it a little space and then reserve your spot, and I will give them a link. Remember what I was saying? Now, the only thing is there's one thing missing from this graphic. Can anybody tell me what it is I am still missing? As I told you, it's not as easy. I need to pull up the messages so I can see. Like this. Just paste in. Crying out loud. Want to insert the link. Why are you not working? Let me do it like this. Thank you. You do work. Who knew? All right. Now, I'm going to make this lowercase so it's easier to read, and then I'm going to read the comments to see if you guys can tell me what is still missing from this flyer. There. Oops. Enter. Okay, very good. Let me see. Let me pull it up here. Very good. Venue. Yeah. The dates and venue. You guys got it. Great job. Yes, that is exactly what is missing, is the dates and the venue. You guys got it. All right, so then those are the final missing elements that we need to add here. And then from there, we can start playing around with the color elements and those missing pieces. So let's see here. All right, here we got the date, November the 13th. And then let's see if we actually mention here on the site where they're actually going to meet. Because then we could copy and paste. Register now. Revolution. Hey, Rebecca, we don't actually tell them the venue. It's online. We don't say if it's a Zoom or not. We probably should mention that it's a Zoom meeting. Now, with it being Zoom, there's actually this really cool feature I'm going to show you. So, copy this real quick. So, now we have the time and date. Now, all we're missing is menu. Now, with this one, what I'm going to do is just show you this. You need to have this element, but the thing is people will look for it themselves, so you can kind of hide it a little bit somewhere. So you can let them go on a little bit of a hunt. So it's an important detail to have, but they know it's here somewhere. Sometimes they just need to look a little bit around for it. There. I'll change the font for that because it's bugging me. Change it to our secondary font. It looks pretty cool. I'll probably adjust it later. But there we go. Now we can do this because it's a Zoom meeting. Yeah. Rebecca mentions good. Now, because it's a Zoom meeting, I don't have to say Zoom because we're in the modern era. So you can just go here and say Zoom. And because, remember what I was talking about, that branding, you can just go here. You can find one of the recordings here, or sometimes they actually have the actual Zoom logo. Let's see if they actually have it here. Graphics, color, Zoom meeting, let's do that one. So because most people know what these logos mean, they actually have the words Zoom on it. So since they updated some of these ones, always changing, or maybe it was the other program. Could have been the other program. Anyway, so we can go in and add, and just add a logo instead. And I keep clicking this one. So I'm trying to find one I love. I'm not loving these ones. I can put this one in for now, just for an example, but I would prefer to have the one that actually has the word Zoom on it. So this is a cheater way of saying where it is. Like, say, for example, it was on YouTube. Oh, wait, let me try using this Zoom logo. There's Canva logo. I know they did have it on here, but it looks like they removed it. Yeah, they normally have other ones, but like, say for instance, see, here's another one. So if you wanted to, like, say if this was a YouTube one, want the white background. To that to white. Oh. This is the annoying thing about Canva. Or just things in general. Boom. So if we did it on YouTube, we could say it right there. See, if we wanted to. Or we can say here normally is a good place to say it. Zoom your online. We can here say online, or we can say Zoom. So because it's online, we can save on some words here. But there you go. Now we have the basic, all the elements that we need for our event. Now from here, I would go and now I would go and change colors and change that background. Like go DNA, stem cells. So go and play around with the elements and put in all the pieces you need like that. Just work it and so that you differ a little bit more from the original template because you want to make it your own still. And there's a lot of white, so I want to change it up and add in some different colors. Still within the same hues, but I would want to make it a little bit different. So what's really cool about Canva is that you can pull in elements like this and then just kind of adjust it as you go along. So it'll match up colors for you. I like it so. See, I can do that. And immediately your eyes are drawn to different colors. Boom. And then, yeah, we can just keep playing, working the elements. And from this point on, we're pretty much just manipulating it so that your eyes are drawn immediately to the right information so that you pay the right things. So, yeah, what I would do here to show you, you can either use a border for that. Oh, go back here. Elements. Here. Now I'm just playing with lighting color to make sure that your eyes are drawn to the right thing. So I always like to put a shadow above and under. All the way back. Ooh, too far back. Okay. Up one. There. Good. So yeah, just so that your eyes are more drawn to the things that are brighter and lighter, and your eyes will look away from the darker things. So just to kind of contrast it, like say for instance, let's say this. Doesn't even have to be big. These are little detail work, so I'll stop now, but it's just to give you an idea. See, your eyes will be drawn to that little light speck. Let's do down just a little bit so it blends in. That's just me. But anyway, just little things like that. Your eyes will immediately go to the M in the stem cell, and then your eyes will also, when you look down here, you're going to see the reserve your zoom spot. So on and so forth. And then, yeah, Adobe is very similar. You just have better manipulation over different elements and lines. I've taken quite a bit of time, so I don't want to go too much longer. I know that you guys, actually want to enjoy the rest of your evening, but I kind of wanted to give you that overline to show you that it is that easy. It's really that easy. And I was just rushing to put some elements together, but I can sometimes, because I'm a perfectionist, I can sometimes get lost in just the title and just the elements. So I can go on a tangent on those, but it really helps. Just make sure that before you start your flyer, get your information, get all of those pointers that I gave you at the beginning of this meeting, of the title, the line of the layout, all of that. Get all that information at the beginning so that when you actually come to make your graphic, it's so easy. Copy, paste, done. Your hardest work is just making sure that you have the information and then just use a template and you're good to go. And as I said, this is a basic guideline, but if you have an event where you're paying money, do look at hiring somebody for that event that can design it in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, any of those that can work it a little bit more professionally, because there are elements I could go into more detail about. Shading, color, textures. There's a lot of different theories. There's the color theory that a professional designer has studied, and they know what certain colors are going to affect certain people to get certain reactions, what fonts will elicit certain reactions. So I don't have time to give you a full degree in graphics design, but I wanted to at least give you enough tools that you can start blessing the body. You can get word of the phenomenal things that you're doing for the kingdom out there in a simple way. So I'm so blessed to put this tool in your hands and that to see you bless the body of Christ. So I'm going to open up for any questions. If you guys don't mind sticking around a little longer, if you have a graphic you want me to look at and want to give you feedback on, I'm happy to do so. I mean, I'll give some basic outlines, but I'm happy to take any questions or look at anything that you have done to give you any feedback on. And I think for our guys online, we're going to say goodbye to all of you guys on YouTube and on Facebook. We love you. Thank you for joining. And if you want more of this content that's going to equip you to fulfill your call, give you the tools and resources to aid your anointing, then join us on the FivefoldX Academy, where we continue to equip you to fulfill your call. All right?